Hey YouTube! Today we're going to be spotlighting a mod called Gany Surface. It's by Gany, which you may know. He's a pretty big mod author. This is a very neat mod that adds some overworld themed additions that just kind of should be in vanilla Minecraft and just kind of adds some really essential stuff that you might like. So let's get started. There's a lot of stuff in this mod to get to. It adds some 1.8 features because, as you may know, 1.8 not a lot of mods are updated yet, and you may just want to have some of these blocks. This is Prismarine temples. I'm not going to explain those. I'm sure you might know what those are if you played 1.8. Raw mutton, you get that from killing sheep, which is kind of neat. So this adds that. Prismarine crystals, also from temples, and coarse dirt, which you just can't grow stuff on. That's also from 1.8, and crafting recipes are cracked and mossy stone bricks. So for cracked, you just smelt them in a furnace, and for mossy, you just put vines with them in a crafting table. Kind of neat. And, of course, the beloved 1.8 doors are in this as well. Fancy, aren't they? And iron trapdoors too. Who would forget about those? Also, we have something neat. Have you ever been in taiga biome? And food isn't very easy to get there. This changes that a bit. Let's experiment. So this is a spruce sapling. Obviously, you'll see a lot of spruce trees in a taiga biome. Now, before we get started with this, I want to explain what this is in my inventory. This is rot. It works just like bone meal, but it's crafted from dirt or podzol surrounded by rotten flesh in a crafting grid. Now let's use it on this, and whoa, there we go. We have a spruce tree. Also, let me set my game mode to survival. This is kind of neat, and so you see this in taiga biome. You want food. Well, let's just break these leaves and see what happens. Eventually, we'll get some saplings too, obviously, but eventually we are going to get something, and I am stalling because this is supposed to be dropping. There we go. No, sapling. You may have to take my word on this, but these do drop from leaves. Pinecones. Come on. Maybe I should have gotten shears for this. Another. Okay, well, looks like you'll have to take my word for it. But what you get is pine cones. And what you can do is you can put those in a crafting grid and get pine nuts. And pine nuts you can just eat, and they give you the same amount of food regen as an apple. So, kind of neat. Now, let's look at Quivers. So I'm pretty sure you all know how bow and arrows work. But arrows can kind of be annoying. They can take a lot of space in your inventory. That's what the quiver is for. You can craft it with some string and leather in a U pattern. And what you do is just right click it, and all the arrows in your inventory will go to it. And in the tooltip, you'll see how many you have. And you can still shoot arrows out of your bow from it. And if you want to get them out of the quiver, just shift right click, and there you go. Now they're out of the quiver. Let's put that back. And now here's some two kind of neat things this mod adds. The first is the gear Eliezer. Now, this is crafted with iron ingots in a pillar formation on the sides, flint, glass pane, and redstone, or any of the colored redstones, which we'll get to later. And this makes your gear Eliezer. What does this do? Good question. Let's go and get some wooden armor. And yet another thing this mod adds. So wooden armor is crafted from just wood logs, and it's in between leather and iron armor in terms of strength, and it's just kind of a handy thing, and the texture looks cool. So what does this gear Eliezer do? Well, for any set of armor, if you right click it, and you just want to look at something, you can see the enchantability, the durability, and the damage reduction. Just give you some useful information. And that's kind of cool. The other item we have is the horse Eliezer. Kind of a weird name, but it's a very neat item. And it's very helpful for, you guessed it, horse breeding. You put leather in a pillar formation, flint, glass and any of the redstones, and you get this. So let's try another horse. If you left click a horse with it, you will get horse data. Now beware, this does hurt the horse, so don't abuse your horses. And you'll get information, whether it's tamed, the type of horse, the jump strength, the size, its maximum health, and its maximum speed. Very neat. Now, we're going to look at something called the work table. So if you take a crafting table and any chest, and I probably should note, you may have noticed all of these chests don't look normal. That's because they aren't. With this mod, any type of wood you use to make a chest results in a chest of that type of wood. So we have oak chest, we have spruce chest, birch chest, jungle chest, acacia chest, and dark oak chest. Very neat. So let's craft a work table. So a work table is pretty similar to a crafting table, but there's a difference. Let's, for example, get some wooden planks, maybe, and see what happens. Okay, we can make sticks, whatever, cool. But if you exit, the items don't go out, and you might notice they're on top of it. Very cool. So it's both useful and kind of cosmetically cool, but that's not all. If we look up work table, we can actually see there's two very useful things. There's the dual work table, which we can craft with two of these work tables and just oaks on the top and bottom, oak planks, any planks. You place that down, pretty similar. You just have two of these, so we can just craft in two separate grids, and as you can see, two separate crafting benches in one. Very useful block. And this is a portable dual work table. It functions just like this, but you can take it anywhere. We craft it with a dual work table and a net, which is crafted from sticks like this and some string. So we press P by default to open it, and it works just like a normal one, but we can carry it with us. Another very cool feature. So let's put that back. Now, oh, I had it in here. Well, whatever. Now let's look at something. Let's look at chocolate first. This mod has chocolate. I know, great, right? You probably already want to download it. We make chocolate from milk surrounded by cocoa beans. That gives us 4 chocolate bars. Now we can eat those. That's all very well and good. But we can do something else. We can use it to make chocolate cake. So just like normal cake, but I think instead of putting sugar, I think that's what goes here normally, you put in chocolate, and you get chocolate cake. So, yeah. Very cool, very useful. Yum. Yeah. And another thing this mod adds is tea. Now, how do we make tea? Well, when you're breaking grass, you might notice you get something. Camellia Seats. Now, this is a new type of seed that is very useful. So let's get some stuff, and let's see what the seed does. So if we just have, what did I do? Okay, so if we plant this, and if we use some rot to speed up the growing process, you'll notice you get the Camellia Crop. If we break it, we get tea leaves. So what can we do with those? Good question. You can make tea bags by just surrounding tea leaves with string on the 4 sides. Then with you're going to want to make an empty mug. You do that for making a raw mug, which is clay like this, and then you just smelt that. So you get the empty mug. Let's get some milk, water bottle, sugar, and this tea bag, and let's see what we can do. So if we forget the recipe, that's why we have NEI. We just, as you can see, so water bottle here, tea bag there, sugar there. So I think that's how I did it. Let's double check. Oops, no. And then milk there, an empty mug there, and we have a cup of tea. Very relaxing. Of course, you can just drink it, and it gives you some nice buffs. Cool, right? Let's look at something else this mod adds. It's called the block detector. Now, say this can be very useful for farming. If say you have a setup like pistons or whatever that can break seeds, what you do is you place in any block you want to detect, and then if we notice here, okay, I don't have water. That's a problem. Okay, good. You'll notice that if you place them here, and then let's say we put some Camellia Seeds, and we grow them, it'll detect that, and it'll give a redstone signal to something. And you can use that for a lot of useful things. Cool, right? Now let's look at some other stuff, some neat little vanilla tweaks this mod adds. So let's get this stuff out of the way and take a look at this. So you know how you can dye leather armor in vanilla Minecraft, right? Well, who said you couldn't do that for iron or for chain armor? So we can just do that in any formation we want, and look at that. We have colored armor that doesn't have to be leather. Very cool. Doesn't work for diamond, but I don't know, maybe in the future. Also, another very useful feature, small but very useful, is a fix for the Infinity Enchantment. Normally, you need at least one arrow. That's kind of seems pointless, right? I mean, if it's infinity, it should be able to make its own arrows, and it can. You don't need any arrows if you have an infinity bow. Very cool. And some other stuff too. You can craft clay. Sometimes clay is hard to find, so if you just take a water bucket, 2 dirt, and surround that with gravel, you get 4 clay. Very cool. Name tags. Those are craftable too now. You just get any sort of slime ball. Take some string, paper, craft it like this, and you have yourself a name tag. But it doesn't stop there. We have craftable cobwebs as well. If you take a slime ball and you put string in the 4 corners, we'll get cobwebs. Pretty cool. Yet another thing in this mod that you may like is the planter. Now, how do we make the planter? Well, here's how. We take a dispenser, put 2 stone around it, put green wool below that, and a block detector, which we can make with a redstone comparator, some slabs, and any of the redstone dusts. And what that gives, and then a hopper, and that gives us our planter. Now, if we put this planter over any farmland, any tilled dirt or whatever, and put some seeds in it, look at that. It'll do a very cool animation, automatically plant that. Very cool. Let's move on. This mod adds a very kind of useful thing, especially if you like to get stuff out of chest minecarts with hoppers, or if you just want to go slow, maybe you're scared of going fast. Slow rails. They basically ensure that your minecart will move, but very slowly. So, yeah. That was very loud, but there you go. Another thing. Nets. What can we do with nets? Well, if we take a bat, and we... hold on. Let me get myself some ladders. So, this is just to make it... Okay, well, whatever. If we spawn some bats and hit them with a net successfully, we just get that bat. It's a pocket bat. Nice, right? It says, please let me free. You can do that too. You can just right click it and let it go again. And then catch it again if you're really cruel like me. Come on. Okay, got him. what can you do with pocket bats? Aside from looking cool, you can make something called bat stew. How do we make that? We take a pocket bat, put 2 mushrooms down in a bowl. Let's do that right now. This can come in very useful if you find yourself in a cave. Have a bowl ready, and just find some mushrooms and a bat, and you can make yourself some food. So let's do this. And our pocket bat. Oh, here we go. Wait, how do we do this again? Oh. Cool, we have bat stew. And that works just like mushroom stew. Cool. Now, let's move on. There's a lot of cool blocks this mod adds. And you can, if you just want to be fancy, show off something, what you can do is, first off, let me get a block. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, here we go. You can craft something called an item display. Let's look at that. We can craft them with anything, glass panes and any type of carpet. Right now the carpets don't seem to be working for me, but in theory you should see some colored stuff there. Then you can place any items, right click to put them in, right click to put them back, or any blocks. So this rotate around. They look kind of cool. Kind of a neat alternative to item frames if you just want something to look fancy. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, almost forgot about this. Another useful vanilla tweak we have is the cooked egg. So if we take an egg and smelt it in a furnace, we will get a cooked egg. But before we do that, you might have noticed a block of charcoal. Hey, that's not in normal Minecraft. It isn't. But if you take 9 charcoal now, you can get one. Very cool. It has its own texture and everything. So let's cook this egg. And as you can probably guess, once we cook it, we're able to eat it. Yum. Okay, cool. And one other thing this mod adds is poop. Yes, that's right, poop. Animals like cows and chickens and whatnot will occasionally poop, and you can collect this poop. Hold on, let me make sure they don't get out. Collect this poop, and what you can do is you can craft some fertilizer with it. So just surround any dirt or podzol with poop, and there you go. And with that, you can make fertilized soil from fertilizer, podzol, and bat poop, which is just poop, but from bats. Make that, and you get your fertilized soil. And with fertilized soil, it basically works like normal farmland, but it just grows your stuff a little faster. That's all. It's kind of neat. Let's try this. And it'll grow a bit faster than normal. Pretty cool. One other thing that might interest you, especially if squids aren't your favorite animal in Minecraft, you can make something called a squid, an ink collector. What you want to do is you want to make a 5x5 by 4 enclosure of any solid material, and you can have glass on the walls. And then you want to fill it with water and make sure there's at least 2 squids in there, which there aren't at the moment. So let me get some squid spawn eggs. Cool. Okay, so what we can do is we can take this ink harvester and place it here. And what happens if you right click it, a GUI opens, and ooh, look at that. And you can feed your squids by just putting food in here. Any potatoes, carrots, they all work. Anything you can grow, and you'll get ink every once in a while, and it doesn't kill the squids. So kind of a cool thing. If you just want to enslave some squids and keep them in here, then this is a very productive way to do that. And you might have noticed me walk past this. This is a banner, also from Minecraft 1.8. You can make these in any color. This is just a black one. And they're crafted just like they are in 1.8, I believe. So you just take a stick and then like a sign, but just wood wall. Pretty cool. Now, one thing this mod adds is a wrench. Now, this isn't like a wrench in those. This is sort of like a wrench in Tekken or one of those any tech mods you might have played with. Except instead of rotating machines, it rotates blocks. So it can rotate any of the rotatable blocks, which are quartz pillars, hay bales, logs, and this, a dislocator. Now, what is that? That's a very good question. We'll get to that in a second. But first, we have trapdoors. So this adds trapdoors for each type of wood. We have a jungle trapdoor here as an example. But also, there's something else that's kind of neat. You might see. We have disguised trapdoors. So we can craft disguised trapdoors by just taking a normal trapdoor and putting the wood plank of the corresponding wood in it, and we get that trapdoor. And in this case, we have a jungle one, and from the top, it looks just like a normal block, but if you open it, it's a trapdoor. Pretty cool for any secret bases you might want to make. So let's get to these. So the Dislocator. This is a very neat block. This Dislocator, if you put a chest on this side, on the output, just any sort of inventory block, and you put any block you want here, and apply a redstone signal, it'll take the block in front of it and put it in the chest. Kind of neat. This is a block of poop. You can just craft it from a bunch of dying poop. Now this is a sensitive dislocator. It works similar to the normal dislocator, but you can specify any block, and you don't need a redstone signal. You just put it in, and it'll destroy that poop, and put it in. Now, this is a very neat block. This is called the cubic sensitive dislocator, and this can break blocks on any of its sides, and as long as you have a chest on the top or bottom of it, if you specify any block, it'll break all of those, put them all in the chest. So I guess you could do some cool automated stuff with it. It's very simple yet very neat. Let's move on to encasing. Now, say you have a lot of cobblestone or a lot of wood, like I do here, and you want to just compact it. What you can do is you can put them in an encasing bench, which you make like this. You surround any chest with pistons and gold ingots. So let's get back to this, and we'll have storage cases of whatever block we have, and they just store non-wood things. And yeah, this is a very good way to compact your items. You can just very useful. Now the auto encaser works just like it, but if you might notice, we can't put stuff in here. We actually have to put stuff through a hopper and or any sort of automated thing, and it'll input into it, and from there it will encase it. So if you want to automate stuff, this is the way to do it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now let's look at, drum roll please, the chest propellant. If you've probably noticed this. If you put a block over a chest, you can't open that chest. That's very annoying. So you always have to have an empty block above chest. Not anymore. If you put a chest propellant above a chest, you'll notice something. First of all, the text, it'll get this chest thing, and if you right click it, it'll open that chest, but from that. And it stacks as well. So if we want to stack it on top, it'll open from there. So as many chest propellants as you can have. I don't think there's a limit. You can just open a chest. So very cool for if you want to make some sort of compact bases. That's a very nifty thing you can do. Indeed. Now, let's look at something very cool known as the rain detector. Now, the rain detector is basically a normal. It works like a daylight sensor, where if it detects rain, it'll send a redstone signal. So what you could do is you could do something like, hold on. You could do toggle downfall on the command block next to it, and then if it ever rains, it'll start to rain, but then it'll just go back to normal. So perfect for situations like this, where you might want to spotlight something and just make sure the weather is always pristine. Similar to this setup I have, which is inverted daylight sensor. Now, you can also just right-click it and get, this is a normal daylight sensor, but if you want to invert it so you don't have to do this, that you can do that. You just have to place a normal daylight sensor and just right-click it, and I'll invert it. Very neat. Now, let's move on. This is the cushion. As you might guess, it prevents fall damage from up to a height of 20 blocks. How do we make it? We take any dye, surround it with wool, and gold nuggets in the corners. So let's try this out, and hopefully it'll work. Otherwise, we might be in trouble. So past 20 blocks it won't work too well, but as you can see, at a range of 20 blocks, it completely suppresses my fall. So let's try it again. Nice. Oh, what's this? This is a lantern. It's just sorry about that. It's just a torch and a glass. If you notice, you just combine glass and a torch and a crafting table, and you get it. And just kind of cool decorative block. Ooh, again and again. Now, why are we down here? Because we're looking at a block called the Organic Matter Compressor. And this is a block that requires you to be under level 15 because it requires very high pressures to work. So what you can do is, if you have a lot of organic matter, like saplings or poop, that you just want to have another use for, what you can do is you can place them in this thing. And what you'll notice is it starts to, basically the matter starts to go up. And if we put coal here, and then if we put more, what will slowly happen, this takes some time, is it'll make coal blocks. So it's a very neat way to kind of increase your coal supply by just using your waste. So that way you can finally do something with saplings instead of throwing them in lava, which is very neat. Yeah. So let's just wait for this to happen. Cool, there's a coal block, and then it'll start again. And whenever it gets 100%, that means it has enough matter to start another coal block. We don't right now, but that's how it works. So let's go back up and look at the rest of the stuff in this nifty little mod. One of the most annoying things with vanilla redstone is that if you want to build next to each other, it's kind of it becomes a mess because it just connects to itself. If you want to just have separate parallel redstones, you can do that now with this mod because it adds basically colored redstone dust. So we have a bunch of this. This isn't even all of the dust. This is just a few that I chose. But there's as many as there are dyes, and you just make these from surrounding any dye and any redstone dust or any other type of dust, and you make 8 of this. And out of this, you can make these blocks by just putting 9 of them in a crafting table. So, as you can see, placed the wrong one down. We can see that works, but the yellow doesn't. So, what you can do is you can have this, and these are all separate redstone, they work just like normal redstone, but they run parallel to each other and they're next to each other. So that's pretty cool. It'll allow for a lot more compact redstone creations, and I'm sure you guys can make a lot of cool stuff with that. And before we go, I want to show you one of the last things in this mod. It's a very small thing, but it's very useful. You can have a bunch of these paintings, and so when you craft them, it'll let you know which one that is. And so that way, you don't just have to guess. Yes, you don't just have to guess paintings anymore. You can just know what they are and place them accordingly. So very cool. No more trial and error decorating. Thank you for checking out this spotlight. I hope you enjoyed this mod. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that jazz. And of course, a link to the mod will be provided in the description. Enjoy, and see you guys.